This is a video on how to set up your eyelet and snap fastener press with the suitable dies. First, we are going to show you how to take out the dies here and replace them with the male and female parts. First, you need the relevant Allen key, and here you can tighten and loosen this screw to be able to slot the cap part in and out of the die. Here we also need to be able to take out both parts to sub in and out for the matching pair. This is for the female part. We have these two dies which sit top and bottom as they were just positioned in there. So they sit in like that. We do need to make sure that they are tightened accordingly. This is a smaller Allen key, so you just have to use the appropriate size Allen key to replace them. So they're the two relevant dies needed for applying the cap only into your fabric. So this is an example of the finished cap. So you can see that this is the right side of the fabric and then this is the wrong side of the fabric. So this is snapped into the top side of the garment. Here, you're first probably best to insert the upper, so we can loosen this and insert the upper die. Make sure it is flush into the fitting. We can screw this on and off to make sure it's easy to replace, but this needs to be tightened by hand, and don't over tighten, just enough for it to go most of the part around. And then in here, this is where we can tighten the upper die for our cap. And then the cap part, the lower bed, we slot this in. If this isn't fitting, this means that the handle isn't sitting, so the handle up here isn't opened up enough. So you'll notice that this goes up and down. There might just be something blocking it. So you can shift the actual hand press if you need to gain access to that, open that up a bit. So here we've slotted in our cap and we can tighten that. Again, not over tightening it, just enough for it to be secure and not move anywhere. And then we can position our cap in there, and then this part gets placed onto that stand after you've laid your fabric on top. So for example, you might have to pre-punch a hole. So by doing that with either the hole punch, something like this, where you can pre-punch a hole, make sure it isn't exceeding the size of the stand for that. So you can insert that cap in there so it sits beautifully into the fabric, and then place the cap, make sure it's sitting really flat and flush in there. Be sure to check that, or else it is very difficult to remove. We have our fabric in there now, and so now we can actually place, making sure it hasn't jumped out, we can place our fastener for the other side, and this is going to sit nicely in there. Make sure it's sitting flat, and we can just slowly, really slowly pull it down and pull that down so it secures our snap fastener cap. And that is how you would apply the top cap for your snap fastener. Make sure that you don't over tighten it or over pull down anything, as it will crush the actual part on the snap fastener.